All right, what's up, everybody? I'm back again with another review. This is the Bay Area's only toy reviewer, Carl, and I am here today to review NECA's San Diego Comic-Con 2009 Guile. Now, a little backstory, or not a little backstory, but a little history on NECA. NECA also, aside from making a huge variety of Street Fighter characters, they also make Predator and Alien figures, but they also make like novelty figures like Muhammad Ali, and NECA has their hands in a lot of different things. I really like their products. I have a few of their Predators, a few of their Aliens, and I really like their work. As I stated, this guy is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. He comes with a different outfit, one that you guys may not be familiar with the character. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the character, this is William Guile. Some would say he's a colonel, but I'm not really clear on his rank. But I know that he served in the United States military, and he fights against the evil organization in Shadowloo in the game Street Fighter. Aside from Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li, Guile is one of the most recognizable characters in said franchise. Now, the reason why he's sporting this is because this is the outfit of the person who in fact trained him in how to use his chi in order to create energy blasts called sonic booms that he uses with both hands. For those of you who are familiar with Street Fighter, you know what the sonic boom is. This is Charlie's costume. Like verbatim, this is what Charlie wears when he debuted in Street Fighter Alpha. I'm referring to the game series, not the comics or the movies or anything. Street Fighter Alpha is the predecessor to Street Fighter 2 when you're talking about canon. But I got this on the cheap, and that's the reason why I have it. I actually dig this figure a lot. I actually like this aesthetic more so than his normal green tank top with camouflage pants. Just because it's Guile, but it's also a nod to Charlie, who I liked very much, who is his trainer, his master, his Shidoshi, his sensei, his all the things. But let's get into the articulation of this figure. As we're going along, I'll be talking about like NECA and things like that and why I like them. With this guy, I got him on the cheap, and a lot of people say that the Storm collectibles that are coming out right now are where NECA should be, but I know that they're not. NECA's not a bad company. Okay, first off, they're not a bad company. They don't make bad products. As you can clearly see, this guy, excuse me, looks great. But I think what people are referring to as far as like the hidden joints, like the joint pegs and things like that, this gimmick here. But let's get into the articulation before we go any further. He's got an arm that goes around 360. So it's the same on both sides. He's got a double jointed elbow. Bicep swivel that goes all the way around. Arm gets you to about there. Wrist swivel. It's just the same on both sides. Also, speaking aesthetically, he also has the in the game he also has the United States flag on both arms, which is a really, really nice touch. They could have, and it looks clean. Like if you look at it, it looks clean. The lines are sharp. The paint's good. They could have easily gotten that wrong, but you know they put a lot of effort into that. His head goes around 360, so you can clearly see. He's got an abdominal hinge that gets you up to about there, which is really nice for the signature Sonic Boom pose. Because with the Sonic Boom pose, his arms go back, the energy gathers here, and then he fires it that way. Also, quickly, while I got you guys here, chi is kind of like it's just this internal energy that you can build up over time that you can use. It's like a finite pool of energy that you can draw from in order to push yourself to superhuman levels, kind of like Kai in Dragon Ball Z. or chakra in Naruto. Moving down the figure. He also has a waist swivel that gets you around 360. It does go around. Now, this thing boasts 55, I think, points of articulation, which is really nice, especially for it gives you a lot of options when you're doing toy photography with this guy. It gives you a lot of options. His foot goes out to about there, which is great for the flash kick. Gets you back to about there, which is really nice. It gets you out to about there. Now from here. Now I have figures with this deal here. I don't know what they could have done for this figure. I think that if this gimmick here was a little bit cleaner, I think that would have put this figure way over the top. But I appreciate the fact that even though they use this sort of engineering, it still gets you the articulation that you want. I also have a Storm collectible that I may or may not review like immediately after this. I don't know. But with engineering that'll get you what you want out of this, but doesn't look like this. But I continue along. He has an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee that gets you back to about there, which is like really weird. Look, I just think from the front it looks fine. If you don't mind like this deal here, if you don't mind that gimmick, it's fine. But like it just looks weird. Like his knee is not complete. Like there's a piece that I feel like should be right here, but it's not. But then when you straighten it out, it looks fine. You know, when you straighten it out, it looks fine. He also has a it's not ankle, but the calf swivel. And he also has a this goes back really far. The Jesus, trying to talk here. Goodness, the ankle hinge to get you back to about there. Get you up to about there, which isn't very much. And he also has a toe bend. And he also has a bit of a rocker. Just get my hands out of the way. But he also has a bit of a rocker. It's not much, but it's there. Just clean him up a little bit. Speaking aesthetically, from the camera, this sort of looks. This is like a yellow-green, which really complements the green pants. He has a nice yellow hair. It does have some additional. Like black in there. You can't really tell, but it does. It does have like some additional black to give it a shaded look to make it look like real hair, I guess. He also has this chain here. This is attached to his head or to his neck. His dog tags, which are fairly clean. They're not really just whoa. Let me see if I can make this focus. Focus. There we go. It's fairly clean. Gets a little choppy around this area here, but other than that, it's okay. It's something that they could have got real wrong, but that's fine. Like with little minor stuff like that, I don't really mind too much, the minor stuff. It's just the major things that really, I don't know, bug me. Not bug me, because that's not what it is. But it's like, major things. Like I don't really know what like that would be. I rarely ever have like buyer's remorse because what I buy is what I want. So, I sort of make sure that that's what it is. But speaking aesthetically, like this dude, he looks good. You see all the musculature in his arm. He's got like arm veins here in both sides. In his chest. Oh, before I forget, I almost forgot. He has a hinge. As you call it, a butterfly. I'm not really sure, but if I could just move his vest. it gets you out to about there. It gets you out, but then it goes in. So it goes out to about here and it gets you into about there, which is really, really nice, which is a really good touch for articulation purposes, for the sonic boom pose, but just for toy photography in general. It gets you a wider range that they didn't have to put in, but they did anyways. I don't know if this is my only NECA Street Fighter figure that I have. I don't know if they did that same thing for like Ryu or Ken. I think they probably did. I think a lot of the NECA figures have that same shoulder gimmick. I'm not sure. I think they do. But it's a nice touch. Moving down the figure, just look at all that musculature. It's just they did a lot of good detailing on the musculature. And just I don't know about the skin. The skin does kind of look kind of grainy, but it's not a deal breaker for me. The hands look really good, of just the etching on the hands. I think these are on ball pegs. Yeah, they're on ball pegs. Just the etching on the hands look really nice, as far as just like the knuckles, and just it looks like a legit real fist. But the piece de resistance, in my opinion, just the thing that really sets this guy over for me, is absolutely his head sculpt. They nailed this. They absolutely did. The eyes look good. Like, the eyes look fantastic. The face, the mouth, the nose, the jaw, the forehead, all of it looked great. I can't stress enough how good the head sculpt is. The figure overall is fine. If, you know, it looks the way it's supposed to. The detailings are real good, especially like looking on the boots, the pants. Aside from maybe a little chippage in here, the paint looks good. It looks great. The figure looks good. If you don't mind like aesthetic breakers, like gimmicks like this, if you don't mind that, then you'll like this figure. But I think a lot of what people feel like NECA should be further along with is this kind of stuff. Is hiding these things seamlessly so that way it doesn't look like a toy. But the fact of the matter is that it will always look like a toy. You know what I mean? Like, it will always be a toy. No matter what you do, no matter how you make it look, it will always be a toy. There will always be a level of unrealism with them. But with this guy, you can pass on, like with this guy, it gets a pass because, I mean, I guess you could say it can get a pass a little bit because it's a video game character. There's certain liberties you can take in order to get the functionality of the figure to work. I like functional figures. Some people may complain about the joints and hinges and things like that, but I like this guy. If you're a Street Fighter fan, I'll give you my final verdict right now. If you're a Street Fighter fan, you will like this guy. I can't say that every single NECA Street Fighter Street Fighter character is a knockout, but I know for a fact that this guy, this particular Guile with this aesthetic looks great. Going back to his head sculpt, I mean, just they could have gotten this really wrong in a lot of different ways. I mean, just the nostrils. They even have like a black line for the lip. Like, look at the way it's sculpted. His hair looks fantastic. They could have got this real wrong real easy. And they could have just phoned it in and then just not. You could have just phoned it in and just been like, look, here's a Guile. It's just a piece of melted looking plastic, and here you go. But in my opinion, if you're a Street Fighter fan and you don't have the funds to buy Storm collectibles, because Storm collectibles are kind of pricey. They're worth it, but they're kind of pricey. The NECA brand of Street Fighter figures, because there's two. There's NECA and then there's SOTA. S-O-T-A. But out of the two, I'd recommend these guys. I think NECA knocked it out of the park with this guy. I couldn't be more happy with him. I don't know if I'm going to buy any more, but I am glad that I got him. He gives me all the articulation that I could need for toy photography and making pictures look more dynamic and making it look the way I want it to. So if you can find them, because you can't buy them in stores, so you have to go to an alternative like eBay or some other like third party type of dealer like eBay or Amazon, something like that. But if you can get them, I recommend them. I really do. This is a great looking Guile. He looks good on the shelf. He has a very strong presence. It's a great figure. It's a great figure. So that's it for the review. This is the Bay Area's only toy reviewer, Carl, and I will see you guys next time.